Hello, Carrots here. Welcome to Generation 3 of the Perfect Genetics Challenge. This is episode 3. We had the big wedding last episode. As soon as he got home, Bill got straight back into sculpting. For those who are waiting for the tutorial on how I did the big wedding, I am working on it, but it may take a while because it's quite complicated to actually turn it into a video with all the information that you will need to be able to do it yourself. So I kept these children as children for the wedding because I wanted them in their bridesmaids and page boy outfits for the wedding. But now it's time to age them up. And here comes Eunice. She is about to blow out her candles and become a teen. That's her mother Cindy standing beside the cake and clapping happily. And her brother's imaginary friend made real Connor is there clapping as well. The one with the long reddish blonde hair is Lana. She's another imaginary friend made real. And Lola is there near the cake now with the pink top. She is yet another imaginary friend made real. And that's Donna, who's just turned up in the purple jeans. And her twin sister Debbie's behind her in the red top. And Lola and Lana are there too, imaginary friends made real. Oh, and there's Bill. He's given up his sculpting for a moment to come and see his little daughter age up to teen. Eunice looks up at her father just as she gets ready to blow out her candles. She's happy he's here, I think. There she goes. Candles are blown out and now she's about to spin into her teenage form. Luckily she's done all she had to do. She gets to choose her own new trait. And she's going to be a party animal. We'll get to meet all of the others eventually. We've got 3 more birthday parties to have with 3 more children to age up to teen. There's Eunice's twin brother Damien and their 2 imaginary friends made real, Connor and Patsy. And after the birthdays have all happened, Bill is going to escort the 3 extra young adults to Vice City. The only 2 young adults we will have left in this household will be Donna and her new husband Clark, because they're going to be the parents of Generation 3. And of course this video is part of the new Generation 3. Oh, there goes Bill. He's off to work. He's trying to become a celebrated 5-star chef. And Cindy has already got her lifetime wish of creature robot crossbreeder. And Eunice has also completed her lifetime wish of presenting a perfect private aquarium. One of the other Sims in the household had that wish, and everybody chipped in with a perfect fish, because to get that lifetime wish you need 13 fish bowls, and each fish bowl must contain a different type of fish, and each fish in the fish bowl must be of perfect quality. And then anybody who enters this household while with that lifetime wish, while all the 13 fish are still living, will instantly achieve their lifetime wish. Now Eunice may have contributed a fish or 2 to the collection because she was fishing quite a lot in the swimming pool when she was a child, but she didn't have to work very hard to get it. And some visiting Sims don't have to work at all, or they might have to become members of the household, I'm not sure. Not everybody manages to get a piece of cake, but this time there was some food available on the buffet table, so hungry Sims were able to eat something. That is Clark, Donna's husband. We're going to be seeing a lot of him in future episodes because he and Donna are to be the parents of Generation 3, because Donna is Cindy's heir. Now it's time for Eunice's twin brother Damien to blow out his candles and age up to teen. Cindy cleaned up the remains of Eunice's birthday cake, and then everybody gathered around the cake. That child beside Damien there with the fair reddish hair, the red shirt on, he is Connor and he's Damien's imaginary friend made real. And he's going to be aging up soon too. And that is Patsy in the pink pyjamas with the blonde hair, the other child, and she will also be aging up. She is Eunice's imaginary friend made real. And that Sim standing behind the table, the teenage boy with pink hair, he is Oliver, and he is Cindy's youngest brother and the uncle of Donna and her siblings. So there go the candles, and now Damien is going to spin into his teenage form. And since he too got to be at A grade at school, he was able to choose his own trait of adventurous. And just look at his face. That was a horrifying sight. I had no idea what to do about it, but I did eventually work it out, and I've made a tutorial. Explain how I fixed it. Basically, I took him in to create a sim. I aged him up to young adult, then back to teen, and his face was good. So we averted that crisis, thank goodness. Suddenly Lola decided she needed to meditate, so she sat down on the floor and did just exactly that. Now it's time for Patsy's party. Patsy is Eunice's imaginary friend made real. I was a little bit nervous at this point. I was hoping that when she ages up, she doesn't get her face all covered in really strange hair like poor Damien did. At least I could fix him. It took me a while to get him fixed, but I did it eventually, and I think he's quite gorgeous now. So there go the candles. She's blowing them out. She won't be wearing that outfit anymore, that's for sure. They don't hold court once they become teens. It's a child thing. Here she is spinning into her teenaged form. And because she got to be A grade at school and she did all of her child's skills of cooking and blocks, she also got to choose her trait, and she chose to be an angler. I think she definitely needs to go into the stylist for new hair and outfit. She took her piece of cake and went over to the table and sat at the head of the table, as is customary for the birthday person. Lana joined her. That's Lana in the reddish blonde hair, and then Poppy turned up. Poppy is the imaginary friend made real of Oliver, and Oliver and Poppy have been teens for a while now, and Eunice just sat down. Here comes Debbie. She is Donna's twin sister. Debbie is going to go to live in Vice City shortly, and that is Clark. Just sat down. He is Donna's new husband, and they are going to be parents of Generation 3. And our founder, Olivia, just sat down next to Clark. Lola just sat down. They all seem to be enjoying Patsy's cake, but we've got one more birthday party to have, and that's young Connor. He is Damien's imaginary friend made real, and he is about to age up to teen. And that's Connor standing there chatting with little Bindi, the family dog. So I think it's time to get the party started, and it looks like Connor's keen to blow out his candles. He came running, and everybody is going to gather around now. Haven't given Patsy her makeover yet. I think I must have given Eunice her makeover because I've changed her hair. You can see Olivia there, then there's Eunice and Poppy, and that is Oliver that's come and stand right next to the cake. And Olivia and Patsy are behind him, and Bill's just walked in too. He must have just come home from work. And Connor just made his wish and blew out the candles. I hope his wish comes true. And Damien's on the far right now, in the green shirt, 3/4 sleeves. You can see Debbie behind in the red top, and Cindy's right at the back. You can only see her occasionally. And Lola and Lana, the two imaginary friends who are the young adults, are standing just next to Connor, wishing him a big happy birthday. And now he's spinning into his new teenaged form. And what trait did he get? He got the friendly trait. Looks like he got the grumpy trait when he was first made real. He didn't get to choose that one. He will get a makeover. I'll take him into stylist, but I think I like that look for him. It suits him. And he's not going to be in the household for long. As soon as he becomes a young adult, he'll move probably to Vice City. I'm going to start another new world for the Generation 3 children to move to when they age up. So everybody is collecting their piece of cake. Cindy's going to get one by the look of it. Oh, and there's Donna. I didn't see her cheering. She must have been standing off screen somewhere. Donna and Clark are the first two to join Connor with his birthday cake at the table. The others will be here shortly, but I thought I'd give you a bit of an idea of what is coming up. As soon as the parties are over, Bill is going to escort the 3 young adults who are ready to move out of this household. That will be Donna's twin sister Debbie and their imaginary friends Lola and Lana. That's Debbie there in the red top. And they'll be moving to Vice City to live. That's where a lot of the other Sims have moved. And I've been thinking about the future of Vice City, and there are not many Sims in it. So I want them to be able to have interesting lives while they're there. So I'm going to add additional Sims from my library. So these will be Sims that I've played in the past. Hopefully they will all have a lot of skills, and there's going to be a variety of different Sims, some that I've played a lot and some I've hardly played at all. And I think I probably ended up putting more than I had meant to, because I just had to add a couple of extras. And that is what we're going to see at towards the end of the video. Will be Bill in Vice City and the current population there. I've been spending quite some time in Vice City over the past couple of weeks, which is one of the reasons it's taken me so long to get back to this video. Before leaving for Vice City with the young adults, there are the two imaginary friends who've just been aged up, and I've given them both makeovers. Connor doesn't look much difference, but Patsy's got different hair and clothes. And now here we are in Vice City. I found a group of 4 houses that were unoccupied on a single block, and I put Lola, Lana and Debbie in each of 3 of those houses. And I'll give you a quick look through. This is Lola's house. I'm putting Alvar vintage items in the kitchens generally, just because they're reasonably priced and they are high quality and I don't have to worry about them. I just leave them there. I've also added some custom content containers. In the kitchens I put a set of drawers where I store their harvestables that they've brought with them from Appaloosa Plains, and in a different room I've got a couple of boxes and a backpack and a esky, or a cooler I suppose. Australians call them eskies, I think Americans call them coolers. And in the esky I put the fish, and in the backpack I put the seeds, and in the other 2 containers it's usually whatever else I need. Sometimes it's harvestables instead of the drawers. Now there's Lola. Everybody's got a computer, and I've put a cupboard for them. There's 3 cupboards, or 2 cupboards from the Supernatural pack, a place to store their insects and a place to store items that they need for alchemy, but they don't necessarily have an alchemy table. That same bookcase I tend to give to everybody. It's a good, it's expensive, but it gives them a high fun value, and it just saves me wondering which bookcase am I going to give to this household. Now when I went to decorate Debbie's place, she wasn't home, and I found her at the gym, which was just down the road from where she lives. So we watched her at the gym for a while, and then I sent her home, and I'll show you through her house too. All of the houses are basically the same. The only real difference is the items that they've got in their inventories that they've stored in their various containers that I've added to their houses. It looks like this gym could do with some decorating. I might get to do that one day. Haven't touched it yet. I don't like to have to think too hard when I am putting Sims into houses to store them in other worlds, because that's basically what I'm doing, is I'm just keeping them available to the game. I don't play them. I'm unlikely to ever visit any of these houses, but if I do, I would like the house and all of the appliances to stay in working order. So I spend a bit extra, get the good quality ones that don't need upgrading so that they don't break. Some of them, of course, will need upgrading. Sinks usually do. I don't worry about them upgrading them unless I actually find myself playing them at some point. I also like to think my Sims are happy, and I like their environment points to be high. So I tend to put high value paintings. By high value, I mean high value environment points. Got quite a lot of custom content wall art that has got 9 or 10 environment points, and they don't cost a lot of simoleons. simoleons. Having mentioned simoleons, most of the furnishing that I put in their houses is quite expensive. Now they come from a home which has usually got 99,999,999 simoleons. They are never credited with any extra simoleons they earn, so in order to pay for their furnishings, I use Motherlode cheat whenever I need to give them an extra 50,000 simoleons, so I can afford what I want in each house. So I'm not going to be playing them, and I just want to feel happy that they're happy. They've got everything they need and things aren't going to be breaking all the time, and they've got lots of lifetime happiness points in most of their rooms, and they can't move out to another house. They have to stay where I put them, because I removed fridges from all of the empty houses, and Sims won't move into a house without a fridge. As I said, I don't like having to think about it. So they all often end up with the same TV, the same fridge, the same stove, the same everything. So I don't have to look for things like I always give them the groovy shower. I tend to vary the bathtub simply because I don't want to waste time looking for the usual bathtub. So that's my attitude for when I'm setting Sims up in the world. I put the paintings on the wall because that makes me feel good that my Sims are happy. They've got high environment points, and that's about it. And they get pristine picture moodlet, worth 15 happiness points when they watch the TV that I usually give them. Most of the households have got that TV, but sometimes they get a different one. I'm not always 100% consistent. I've been showing you around the town or the world and showing where all of the Sims that I've moved here so far live. But all of the other houses are empty, and this world seems a very lonely place whenever I visit, because I only occasionally come across Sims out in the town doing things, and here we've come across Bobby and Bart playing ball. They're both imaginary friends made real. Bobby is Cindy's imaginary friend made real, and Bart is Martin's imaginary friend made real. I made Bobby active because I wanted to advance his story a bit. When he got home, his friend Byron, the imaginary friend made real of Daryl, visited Bobby's house and announced that he was having a bachelor party. So Bobby said, yes, you can have it here, and that is what's happening at the moment. When I made Byron active, I discovered he didn't even have a girlfriend. That was when I decided I really do need to add more Sims into this world. I activated Bill him and discovered he was visiting the Everfresh Delights supermarket. The way this world has been built, all of the rabbit holes are in basements, so that the architecture looks like the world of Vice City that it's based on, from Grand Theft Auto, I believe. And I found Bill at the supermarket in the basement of that building we just saw above ground. Winter has arrived in Vice City, and here are the houses where the first group of Sims that I moved here are living. And those 6 little houses, including Carolyn Price, who was the Sim from my library that I put in here to set up the world. And now these are the houses where some of the latest Sims are living. And I'm particularly interested now in the 2 big houses behind the 2 smaller houses that we just saw. And it's the house on the left of the screen now that we're going to visit, because that is where Bobby lives. And the other big house on the right of them, their next door neighbour, we will go to that house next. That is where Matteo and Connie live with their baby son. Bobby, the imaginary friend made real of Cindy. Bobby was made real while they were still living in Moonlit Falls. He went to live in Mountain Lake with the others when they all moved, and I put him into a house on his own. On one of my visits to Mountain Lake, I discovered that he had a girlfriend living across the road from him and that they had a baby son. And I also realised that Mountain Lakes was getting very difficult to play, and I thought that it was probably getting overcrowded. So I moved Bobby and his girlfriend and their baby son to Vice City, and I moved them into this house because it was a bit bigger and they had a family. Most of the Sims are in small houses and there's only one Sim in each house. Bobby's traits are handy, good sense of humour, disciplined, night owl and bookworm. And Raina's traits are insane, vegetarian, animal lover, athletic and kleptomaniac. Now, I don't know where Raina came from. I didn't put her into Mountain Lakes. I suspect the game must have generated her. I'm sure I didn't bring her from Moonlit Falls. Now, I have aging turned off for the worlds that I'm not playing because I've got multiple worlds in this game, and I have aging turned off for the worlds that I'm not playing. But when that world becomes active, then the aging kicks in. Now, Cindy has recently aged up to an adult, but her imaginary friend made real Bobby was still a young adult, as was his partner Raina. So the first thing I did was just to age them up. Their son, Whitney, was still a toddler and he needed to learn his toddler skills. And next door the family had a little baby, Jack, and I aged Jack up to toddler and brought him in to Bobby's house, and the two little toddlers did all of their toddler skills and I aged them up to child. And then I decided we needed more children in this world, so Raina and Bobby had another baby, which I got him up to toddler quickly, and his name was Gareth, and he learned his toddler skills and he became a child as well. And meanwhile I had sent Jack home to his parents, Matteo and Connie. So that's the update I've got for you on Bobby and Raina and their two little boys, Whitney and Gareth. Now let's move on to Matteo and Connie, who live next door. First, I'll give you a little bit of a background to where they came from. Petunia Flower is one of the first Sims that I added to Vice City. She is the plant Sim daughter of Donna, and Donna is the wife of Gary, who is Cindy's eldest brother. I originally made Donna as a future wife for Gary, but I gave her a backstory and I played her for ages in Sunset Valley before she ever met up with Gary. And I'm showing you a bit of video at the moment from that old Sunset Valley game. It was back in 2020 when I was playing this one. And this is Donna and Mabel working on their skills. And then we will see Petunia, while she was still a child, playing with her doll. And then we'll have a look through the garden, and I managed to transplant a lot of those money trees from this garden into the garden that they have in Mountain Lake. Some of the transplants didn't work, but a lot of them did. That doll she's cuddling is called Pat, and when it became real, it was a girl named Patricia who has now aged up and has also moved to Vice City and lives in a house close to the group that Petunia is living in. Once Donna had done enough gardening to get her skills and lifetime wish, she didn't need to do gardening anymore. So I hired the gardeners, which are available through a mod, and that's who you'll see coming in to start working in the garden. While she was in Sunset Valley, she had two plant sim daughters. The first is Mabel and the second was Petunia. Now, for some reason, Mabel has dropped off the family tree, but she still lives in Mountain Lake, and she's married to Gary's brother, or Cindy's brother, James, at the moment. And Matteo, who we are about to meet, is the imaginary friend made real of Mabel. And Mabel, of course, is Petunia's older sister, who has strangely somehow dropped off the family tree. I will try to fix that at some point. When I was ready to introduce Donna and Gary, I moved Donna's household to Mountain Lake, and that is where they are now. And this is Mabel with her dragon, and in the background you can see Marigold and her imaginary friend made real, Julia. Now Mabel's heading off home, and little Marigold is a clone of Mabel. Donna did the cloning, and I made her because I wanted to see if I could get a hybrid plant sim fairy, and she is a hybrid plant sim fairy, and she's evil, which is what sometimes happens when you clone a sim. Back at home, we see a teenage Petunia playing on the computer. Now this is the house that Gary and Donna still live in Mountain Lakes, and they've had children since. At this point, they haven't even been married yet. Petunia has made her imaginary friend Pat real, and they both aged up to teen, and here is Patricia. She is the imaginary friend made real of Petunia, and she's playing frisbee with Connie, and Connie is the imaginary friend made real of Mateo, and Mateo and Connie are married and they live in Vice City and they have a son. And this little side trip into the past is to give you a bit of background on Mateo and Connie, and they're still teens at this point, and this is the back garden of the house that Gary and Donna now live in Mountain Lakes. And down that street, that you could just see the houses in that street, have got several households of Sims that I have moved to Mountain Lakes from Moonlit Falls. I moved this lot before we started Vice City. This is the Generation 1 Sims that moved here to Mountain Lake. The evil little Marigold is going to challenge Patricia to a game of tag. Marigold's traits are evil, grumpy and adventurous. Now by this stage in my game playing history, I had begun to enjoy turning the imaginary friends real, and I discovered that Mabel didn't have an imaginary friend in her inventory, and I couldn't find it anywhere. It wasn't in the family inventory either. So I used a mod to clone Petunia's imaginary friend and put it into Mabel's pocket, and that was Cosmo. By the way, we're watching Marigold's imaginary friend Julia cycle home through Mountain Lakes. Anyway, Mabel eventually made Cosmo real, and that became Mateo. And I looked into Mateo's inventory and discovered that he had an imaginary friend doll named Cosmo in his inventory. And that is how Connie happened, because I thought, oh well, let's make it real. And it was a girl, and named her Connie. So now you know how Mateo and Connie got into the game. Now let's pop down one level and see Mateo. Now there he is, and that is Mabel, his previous owner. And she seems to be insulting him. I don't know why she'd do that. Let's see what happened. Oh, Mateo, really? I don't think they're getting on very well at the moment. There's Julia, she's now heading further downstairs. Most of all the living area in this house is underground. Mabel's playing up badly now. She's blown kisses at him. Really? Poor Mateo, he doesn't know whether he's coming or going. Well, I thought she was going, but she's not. Oh no, she's going to stay. They're just making room. Here comes Petunia. I'd be able to settle things down a bit. I started trying to get my plant sims to all have different coloured outfits. I have an idea of having a game one day with a few plant sims in it and at least 6 different coloured outfits, each one a different colour. Looks like Petunia decided to make peace between Mabel and her previous doll, Mateo. Oh, there goes Petunia, the hybrid fairy plant sim clone of Mabel. So let's get back to Vice City. And here is Connie. She's now an adult, and that is her son beside her. I think his name's Jack. So that was the first one they had. And here's Mateo. He's in the nursery. He's been reading, and I've discovered that there is a baby in the crib. So they have 2 sons. One of them is at school, and he's done all of his toddler skills. Don't think he's done his child skills yet. And they've also got a baby who I discovered is called Mark. I'm assuming little Mark is also also an imaginary friend. But both Jack and Mark were born as imaginary friends because both of their parents are imaginary friends made real. So that's about the end of the video. You won't get this huge backstory on all of the Sims that I'm adding to Vice City, just the ones that I haven't really given you the backstory on, or who I think you need to know a little bit about them. In the next episode, I'm going to be focusing on adding a lot of new Sims to the world, because after all, poor Byron had a bachelor party and he didn't even have a girlfriend. So I thought we need to give him some possible girlfriends. So thank you for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please give it a like. If you want to see future episodes, well then, if you haven't subscribed, it would be a really good idea to subscribe. So bye for now. Thank you for watching and happy simming. Holly and Wenzel should add some fun to the game. She's brand new, I just made her specially for this game, for him, and he is reasonably new. He's got no skills, but I have played him before with another witch. They are just housemates. They've only just met, and I don't think that I don't know if there's going to be a relationship between them or not. We'll see what happens. Wouldn't be surprised if somebody moves out eventually. That's it. See you next video. Bye bye. Happy simming.